On July 2, 2024, two AIM-174B missiles, the air-launched version of the SM-6 missile, carried by an A-18E Super Hornet from the VFA-192 Golden Dragons on the USS Carl Vinson aircraft carrier, CVN-70, were photographed as the aircraft taxied at Joint Base Pearl Harbor-Hickam, Hawaii. The prefix letter N indicated that these missiles were modified for special tests. The aircraft is taking part in the Rim of the Pacific, or RIMPAC, drills. RIMPAC is the largest international maritime exercise hosted by the United States and is keenly watched by its adversaries, including China and Russia. The U.S. Navy has provided a confirmation regarding this to several news portals with a statement that read, "The SM-6 Air-Launched Configuration (ALC) was developed as part of the SM-6 family of missiles and is operationally deployed in the Navy today." This is a major development, since this means that the missile is combat-ready. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why SM-6-based AIM-174B armed Super Hornet on USS Carl Vinson is horrifying for China. Before we proceed, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted VPN brands worldwide that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte, an industry-leading Big Four auditing firm. NordVPN provides an encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy by preventing external entry to your internet traffic, as well as enabling you to access content that's blocked based on geolocation. Best of all, with one NordVPN account, you can secure up to 6 devices at the same time. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive savings by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. The latest AMRAAM variant, the AIM-120D, is the main weapon for American fighters for beyond visual range combat. It includes a two-way data link, superior navigation through a GPS-enhanced inertial measurement unit, a much larger no-escape zone, an improved high-angle off-bore sight capability, and an increase in range by 50% for a max strike envelope of about 167 kilometers or 105 miles. While having excellent combat effectiveness, the missile is outranged by Chinese missiles like PL-15 and PL-17. PL-15 is an active radar-guided long-range air-to-air missile in use by the Chinese military. It's developed by Luoyang-based Kama. Powered by a dual-pulsed solid propellant rocket, it has a max speed of Mach 4 and a range of 200 to 300 kilometers, or 120 to 190 miles. PL-17, sometimes also referred to as PL-20, is thought to be an improved version of PL-15. It's also an active radar-guided, beyond visual range air-to-air missile designed for high-value targets such as tankers and early warning and control (AEW&C) aircraft. The missile has a claimed range of 400 kilometers or 250 miles. The situation called for swift mitigation if it went to war with China in the Indo-Pacific. The U.S. is working on several long-range air-to-air missiles. The AIM-260 Joint Advanced Tactical Missile (JATM) is one such development intended to replace the AIM-120 AMRAAM. AIM-260 aims to offer improved range and performance compared to the AIM-120. But this is not operational as of now. The RIM-174 Standard Extended Range Active Missile (ERAM) or Standard Missile 6 (SM-6) has been deployed primarily by the U.S. Navy to counter different kinds of threats. It's a proven missile developed by Raytheon, which is mainly intended to be launched from Mark 41 vertical launch system cells present in U.S. Navy warships like Arleigh Burkes. It was designed for extended-range anti-air warfare (ERAAW) purposes, providing capability against fixed and rotary wing aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicles, anti-ship cruise missiles in flight, both over sea and land, and terminal ballistic missile defense. The SM-6 can also be used to strike high-priority ground targets, such as air defense sites and warships, acting as a quasi-ballistic missile. The missile uses the airframe of the earlier SM-2ER Block 4 RIM-156A missile and some targeting elements from AIM-120C AMRAAM. It can discriminate targets using its dual-mode seeker, with the semi-active seeker relying on a ship-based illuminator to highlight the target, and the active seeker having the missile itself send out an electromagnetic signal. It possesses a 140-pound or 64-kilogram blast fragmentation warhead. AIM-174B is essentially an air-to-air version of surface-to-air SM-6. SM-6 has a max speed of Mach 3.5 and a range of 230 miles or 370 kilometers when launched against aerial targets from the surface. While the range is dependent on many factors, there's no doubt that the SM-6-derived AIM-174B is the longest-range air-to-air missile ever fielded by the seagoing service. It's likely that AIM-174B could reach a strike range of more than 250 miles or 400 kilometers when launched from a fast-moving, high-altitude platform. As of now, it's unclear what changes were made to integrate it for air launch. In essence, the new missile fills the gap left by the retirement of the AIM-54 Phoenix. The AIM-54 was a long-range air-to-air missile used by the U.S. Navy's F-14 Tomcat and retired in 2004 alongside the F-14. Known for its impressive range of over 115 miles, or about 185 kilometers, and multiple target engagement capability, the AIM-54 left a significant void in long-range engagement capabilities. The most likely scenario of a conflict between the U.S. and China would be an invasion of Taiwan. Chinese Air Force is serial producing advanced, low-observable J-20 fighters that can carry PL-15 and PL-17. Beijing has also deployed air defense systems whose strike envelope extends far from its shores. For the U.S. to intervene successfully, it will need to degrade China's ability to surround Taiwan by inflicting massive damages on its aerial, naval, and land-based assets. This is where AIM-174B could be very handy since it's so versatile. The AIM-174B enables the U.S. Navy Super Hornets to engage targets at much greater distances than is currently possible with the AIM-120D. Being integrated with the E-2D, F-35, and Aegis within the Naval Integrated Fire Control Counter-Air NIFC-CA system, the AIM-174B would emerge as a long-range distance strike option. China, which will have to cross a 100-mile or 160-kilometer Taiwan Strait to invade the island nation, will find this news extremely worrisome.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.